guys, Marsingen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and yes, I know you are all excited. The time for peak is almost upon us. That's right, we are going to have the release of the STR Android 17 and Hellfighter 17 banner very soon on Global. The time that this video goes up, the banner will be out in around 8 hours. I will be live streaming on the channel and over on Twitch if you guys want to come and hang out and check out the summons. I'm definitely not going to go too crazy. I want to get my copy of them so I can make content, but I'm definitely not going to be going like all in or anything, right? So we're going to talk about the banner. We're going to talk about the units on the banner. Now, as always, I pretty much start all of my summon or skip videos off by making this point, because I know some of you guys watch all of them. For some of you, this might be the first one of these of mine you've ever watched. When I talk about whether you should summon or skip on a banner, this advice is mostly geared towards people who are free to play or who don't spend very much on the game. Obviously, if you're a massive whale, you've already decided whether you're going to summon or not. I know some whales don't necessarily summon for everything, but you've probably already decided if you are going to summon just for one copy. Maybe you summon for everything regardless, and you'll go for as many copies as you can get within a certain number of stones. Obviously, this video is not for you, although you may find some of my opinions helpful or interesting. But this is more towards people who are free to play or who don't spend a lot, because you have to be more careful about how you summon. You can't just summon on every banner, because then when the big banners come up, the ones with the real value, then you don't have a lot of stones. So the STR-17. Now, this unit gets a lot of hate, but they are not as terrible as some people like to make out that they are, right? So they have join forces or target Goku as a leader skill with androids as the extra 30%. You can make a decent team with them. It's not like they're full of super top tier units, but there's definitely some good units on there, right? Like LR Cell with his EZA. The tech androids. There's some decent units you can run on this team, right? Their side banner unit is pretty decent for their team as well. Obviously, with target Goku being the 170, you have units like the Piccolo Jr. that just released for Golden Week. Of course, he's not on their full 200 because he's not an android, but he can be run on their team. They infinitely stack attack and raise defense for one turn with each of their supers. And when we look at their passive, if you're fighting a super class enemy, they get a guaranteed additional super for the first 4 turns. So you're not only getting extra stacks, but remember, each super they do, you're getting extra defense for the turn. They have a guaranteed additional attack that has a 30% chance to become a super as part of their passive. And then you also build up dodge and crit chance with them with each attack that they do. And it's each attack, it doesn't have to be a super. So if that additional attack from their passive doesn't hit the 30% chance to become a super, it is still giving you this build up. And then obviously if there's a super class enemy, you're getting the 3rd attack guaranteed. So that means even at 55% with no chance to additional from the hidden potential, they're still going to get 3 supers, or sorry, 3 attacks, and it's going to be 2 normal. It's going to be 2 supers and a normal, or 3 supers, and then they're going to have 51% chance to dodge. Obviously, they build up crit chance, so each of those attacks has an increased chance to crit, and they raise defense for the turn on each of their supers. So they don't seem all that bad when you think about it. Now, obviously, the hardest events that we have in the game at the moment are not against super enemies. So that's taking away the guaranteed additional that they're getting for the first couple of turns. And then, obviously, you know, the chance for their additional to become a super is only 30%. So you will very commonly see them do 1 super and then 1 normal additional, and then that's it. So you're only getting the 30% defense raise from the super attack, and then you're getting 2 attacks in the turn, which means you're getting 34% dodge, which isn't the craziest, but obviously it does help. So they're not super crazy, but they can be pretty decent. And then the biggest issue with the unit is they confuse into Super 17, and Super 17 is very good. It's just the fact that the condition is HP 70% or less and turn 5. So meeting both of those conditions can be kind of annoying. And then once he fuses, he has a bunch of damage reduction. He builds up defense every time he gets hit, but he has to be hit 10 times. So by the time you actually get him out, which remember is minimum turn 5, like if you think about an event like the Metal Cooler Core, you're already on the 2nd turn of the Metal Cooler Core itself when you can get out this Super 17. And then he needs to get hit 10 times to get fully built up. So He can absorb Ki Blast super attacks if you are at 70% or less HP at the start of the turn, which means on the turn where you fuse, you will be able to do that because you'll be at that HP already, because it's part of the restriction. And then he does have a Scouter effect when HP is 34% or less. So he's not the worst unit ever, but he definitely is not that great. And he's not helped out by the fact that his celebration didn't exactly drop a ton of support for him. Like the side banner unit is pretty good. They greatly raise defense on super. I mean, as long as you're fighting a enemy whose name includes Goku, they do have quite a lot of extra stats. But regardless, they do give support. Target Goku allies 1 key, 30% attack and defense. And then they give 1 key and 20% attack and defense for target Goku allies for 2 turns with 3 or more key spheres obtained. So 3 orbs, very easy to pick up. And then you're getting 50% support on the turn that they're on for target Goku. And then on the next rotation that they're not even on, they're giving 20% attack and defense and 1 extra key. So they are actually really good for the team. And remember, they're supporting target Goku, not androids, which means they are a direct support unit for that Piccolo Jr. as well. And then, yeah, when you have an enemy whose name includes Goku, they seal all enemy super attacks if HP is 70% or more at the start of the turn, get an additional attack and defense 150%, and guaranteed guard. But again, we don't really have a lot of crazy events where you fight a Goku. Would have been really nice for this to be out on Global before the Legendary Goku event Burst Mode, but I guess it is what it is. So these guys can be okay. Now, when we take a look at the banner, this is the first return of Tech Pan on Global. Then we have the androids featured. They can still be pretty decent, but they have kind of aged a little bit, especially against the hardest bosses. AGL Super 17, unironically, is still runnable against a lot of these difficult bosses. And then we have Gogeta and the physical Goten and Trunks. So Pan is a unit that, obviously, this is her first time returning on Global. Not a lot of people summoned for her when she first came out, so there's a chance you don't even have this unit. And she never really got like a ton of help. She's a unit that can do quite a lot of damage, but doesn't really have the best defense. But I guess one thing to consider if you are going to attempt some summons on this banner is the anniversary coming up drops the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who are a pretty decent buff for her. Like, she links reasonably well with them. They're a good defensive unit to have paired up with her. And of course, when they go into their standby, they provide a huge amount of support and cover the team from dying by having a revival. So when they go into their standby, this Pan will hit like an absolute truck. So if you don't have her, she can be pretty good, but I definitely wouldn't suggest summoning on the banner specifically for trying to get Pan, because obviously, remember, she will be available with red coins, but honestly, I don't really think she's going to be worth picking up with red coins. The tech androids, like I say, they can still be pretty good. They're obviously on the team for Super 17, because whilst they are not on target Goku, they are on joint forces. They're an orb changer. They can still get decent stats if you pick up a lot of orbs, but you really do want to feed them like a lot of orbs, right? And then they do nullify Ki Blast super attacks as long as you have 35% or more HP, which definitely can be very useful. But yeah, not a unit that I think are top of the list for people to try and be getting if you don't have them already. I mean, their active skill, that is the Ghost Usher against one enemy, definitely can still be very useful as well. But yeah, definitely not the craziest unit. Next up, we have Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now, obviously, this guy aged out quite a bit now. He was obviously very, very good when he first came out. The Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has an Easy A already, but remember, this guy does not. Now, I did think about the fact, like, how long will it be till this guy gets an Easy A? Because if it was going to be soon, that would kind of increase the value of the banner a little bit. But if we look at his JP release date, he released it on the 30th of October 2020. So I've brought that up on the timeline here, so we can kind of look back and see, like, how close are we to units that are getting Easy A's already. And the Dokkan Fest that released before him was Physical Angel Frieza, who doesn't have an Easy A yet. If we take a look at September, we are looking at, well, this is going to be the end of the worldwide celebration. So obviously, I guess this is where AGL Super 17 got his Easy A. And then, yeah, it was these guys. So I guess to be fair, Super 17 being a Dokkan Fest that got an easy A not super long before Gogeta. And if we go back to July, there we have Broly. So this is where we were finishing up the 120 leads, eh? So the 120 leads finished up sort of getting their easy A's, and then in Gogeta came out. But Tech Gohan's here as well, and of course he doesn't have his easy A. I suppose I should be looking for not who got their easy A, but who released, right? So Tech Gohan, then we have... Who's the next Dokkan Fest around here? Well, Dokkan Fest LR, that was for the Tanabata. And then all this stuff may... I should have probably pre-prepared for this bit. I just kind of wanted to have a quick look and see. Tech... Oh, it's STR Kefla, who doesn't have hers either. So, yeah. So, clearly, Gogeta is quite a way away from getting his easy A, is what I'm getting at. So, he doesn't really add any value to the banner. If he was potentially going to easy A in like a month or two, then obviously that would add value to the banner. So, looking back at the banner, it means we have like AGL Super 17 is still runnable. The Tech Androids are still runnable. Pan is runnable, definitely gets a buff from the anniversary, but it means you have these last two units that are just not really good in the current meta at all, and then these guys are only really runnable but not particularly good. And then Super 17 and Jiro, like the side banner unit can be useful. Super 17, I mean, still I guess is a top 10 TUR Dokkan Fest, but they are near the bottom of that list. So it should be pretty obvious that my overall advice for this banner is that this is going to be a massive skip for most players. If you are free to play, do not summon on this banner, right? The anniversary is like a month away. That's the banner you want to be pouring the stones that you've saved up into. Do not summon on this banner. You know, these guys, there'll be some value for this team being quite fun to use against the anniversary events where you fight against all the Goku and Vegetas from the previous anniversaries, but it's not like you need this team to beat those events, right? So for most people, this banner is absolutely not worth summoning on. One thing to mention, of course, is that, like last year, this was the slot where we got the Ginyu banner release. Global has been getting tickets now for basically every banner, so, or at least every Dokkan Fest banner, so there should be purchasable tickets. Of course, that's not useful for free-to-play players, but the banner should have discounts as well. So, the Global Ginyu banner, it was 25 stones for Step 1 for 5 units with a guaranteed SSR, 30 stones for 7 units with a guaranteed SSR, and then 45 stones for 10 units with a guaranteed featured SSR. So if you do all 3 steps, it's 100 stones, which is obviously would normally get you 2 multis, which is 20 units and 2 guaranteed SSRs. This will get you 22 units, so 2 extra ones, and you get 3 guaranteed SSRs, and one of them, the final one from the 3rd step, is guaranteed featured. Now, I don't see any reason why they won't do that again. We actually suspected they wouldn't do it for Ginyu last year because Ginyu was such a good and strong unit, but obviously they want to bait people into using stones before the anniversary, so you'll be more tempted to buy them during the anniversary. And so I think with a unit like Super 17, who they must know the community is not super hyped for, I can almost, like, I would bet money that he will have discounted steps with guaranteed featured as the final one. And he might even have the ticket pack that gives you a guaranteed featured at the end, because they're going to want to try and get as much money as they can out of this event or this banner, knowing that people aren't exactly super hyped to summon. So shouldn't be a big surprise to anyone that my advice is to absolutely skip this banner. I am only going to be summoning on it because I am a content creator. I want the unit so I can make videos, and that pains me to say as a Super 17 fan. I would have loved it if this guy was coming out and I was sitting here saying like, oh, you know guys, the anniversary's right around the corner, but like Super 17 is just so good. But unfortunately that is not the case. So for most people, this is a massive skip. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are you somebody who is in that sort of like medium to high spender range and you do actually want to summon for him? I mean, there is a small part of me that would love to get him with dupes and just kind of show that he can be good sometimes, but I just don't think it's worth that investment for most people. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Like I say, I will be live to do my summons, so hopefully I will see you guys there. Hit that bell button so you get the notifications when I go live. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.